Okay, folks. It's going to be a good healing, though. All right, occasional buzzing. We will have to settle for that. Fortunately, the quality of energy healing is not affected by the buzzing on the line. So anyway, we will do a lot of fundamentals, of course, like aura repair, grounding, unblocking, which are essential, because otherwise there's no point to do anything else. But then we will do abundance, literal abundance work. There will be some on what's holding back your abundance, so you're actually expanding your abundance, but then there will be some also on perception related to abundance, your conscious perception of your abundance, because there's stuff that can impede your clarity about your abundance and can sort of overlay fears and other dramas in your abundance, which then complicates it. So we want to simplify, you and your abundance, basically, so that you know what to work on, over these two healings. We want to simplify things so that you have more clarity, you have a lot less drama in your abundance space, you know how to work on your abundance, and your abundance is more than it was. So that's the idea. And there's so much that goes into all of that. So fortunately, Archangels Ariel and Jophiel will be helping me to simplify things. Yeah, just work with the vibe of it, and I apologize for the technical issues. I used to do group healings with no live stream at all, and people just felt the healing. So I guess just work on feeling the healing part. Is there anything specific I want to say about the technical stuff? No, not more than what I just did. Although, yeah, I will say one thing about with abundance and with everything, when you're viewing your own personal issues, there's a way to view from your sixth chakra, third eye, right? Sixth chakra is behind the forehead, has to do with non-judgment and seeing energy, clairvoyance, both consciously and subconsciously. But you could also be perceiving a situation not from viewing here, but from viewing from your fourth chakra, or even lower down. But if you're viewing from your fourth instead of your sixth chakra, you may be stuck in feelings of like defeat about your abundance, feeling like really desolate, like, oh my gosh, all is lost, it's pointless, or, really stuck in feeling cheated. And you may be highly sensitized to any, concepts of fairness around your abundance if you're viewing from your fourth chakra rather than your sixth chakra. When you're viewing from your sixth chakra, that's what we're going to hopefully, one of the things that we're going to help you to do is view your abundance from your sixth chakra. So it's more of like cut and dry, and you can see issues and you can see steps to work on them. So there's not, the drama. So drama removal by changing your view, your point of view of the same issue. So that'll be interesting too. And also I want to mention, of course, past lives do play a part, obviously, in everything. What happened to you in past lives that maybe you are not fully healed from or over, they can be affecting your abundance. So all the clearing we're doing helps you to clear this and past lives, baggage and wounds from this and past lives. And I think we will be doing also the whole thing about where it's like you clear the baggage, the blocked energy, you clear the energy blocks, and you also heal the wounds, heal inner wounds. And then you also nourish. Because generally, if you're at least clearing and nourishing, you know, then it's sort of helps you get stronger and do more, versus just only clearing. But then healing wounds, sometimes people are wounded, so it's not that they're piled on with stuck energy. They're just like something's sort of broken or not right within them. And so we're gonna do that too. So we're gonna clear baggage or stuck energy. We're gonna heal inner wounds, and we're also gonna nourish you. So hopefully that will be more effective than only clearing. Okay, cool. So sorry about all the technical issues, and congratulations to all of you that figured out to hop on to this live stream once the other one crashed and burned. Thank you so much. I totally wish I could show you this like stupid hunk of paper that is that was the fix. The fix. Okay, cool. So, also the angels just want me to mention expectations, your expectations of abundance versus the reality of your abundance. So sometimes you can be harmed if you have these expectations, like, well, this is my money and they're trying to take it from me, you know, so I'm only going to get this much money, but I should have this much money. So then you can feel like you have no abundance, you have nothing, because you feel like you should have had way more than what you do have. Whereas if you didn't have that expectation and you just look at, wow, I have this much, and you compare it to other people on the planet, you know, you could feel very abundant. So clearing expectations out of your abundance space can really help you to not get stuck in the heart chakra dramas and just see in a more just calm, rational, centered place. And then also the I think what's different, what's most different maybe in this type of abundance work than maybe you might find elsewhere is that for me, your spiritual path comes first. Your spiritual purpose comes first. Like, what are you here to do in this lifetime? Right? When you were planning with the angels this whole life and you planned it out, like what you need to learn, how you need to grow, what you need to experience, you know, abundance was probably, well, certainly just a part of all the things that you're supposed to learn and experience, and you know, good deeds you're supposed to do, and you know, whatever, like how you're supposed to fulfill your purpose in this life. And so I think that sometimes even within spirituality there's all this sort of, you know, like even in some religious corners of the US, there's like this sort of wealth, I forget what they call it, the wealth ministry or something, where it's all about like, well, God loves you, so you deserve to be rich, and if you're rich, that means God loves you, or some it's like it's all warped and twisted with morality and whatever. Or some people, it's just like they really focus on wealth, and that's how they feel like their purpose is in this life, is to have all this wealth. And so what I would say is, I don't think anybody's on the planet just to have wealth. You know, I think there's purpose, you know, there's deeper things why you're here. And so I don't think it's wrong to work abundance, but you know, I would think, I just have seen a lot of people, and I've experienced it personally, you know, you go through your life, you go to heaven, you have your life review with the angels about what you accomplished in your life. And, you know, a lot of times people are like, oh man, I over-focused on that, or you know, I forgot to do that again. I forgot, you know? And so staying on track, on, you know, your path with your purpose, I think, oh, prosperity God, well, thank you. That's something that certain people in the US, they get all involved with. I'm not going to judge it, but that's not what this is. So the way the angels explained it to me is like you could, and again, I'm not God. This is just, I'm a flawed listener to my angels, right? But if you're what you're working on, like maybe like 2/3, 1/3, like your abundance, you could work your abundance up to like 1/3 of what you're working on spiritually, and then being as present as possible and being on your path and moving forward on your path, your spiritual path, as much as possible, that would be 2/3 of what you're working on. And so if you have you're working on your path, you're working, your spiritual path, being as present as possible in as many chakras as possible with your flow, your grounding, your spiritual, your energy safety and everything, your boundaries, that's really what's going to keep you on track. Working abundance is not necessarily going to keep you on track. If you get as present as possible, work your chakras, your aura, your grounding, all that, you'll be on your path, you'll be moving forward. And that's really the point, right? That's when you go to heaven, you'll be like, oh, thank goodness I did it, because it keeps you on track with everything. Even if you don't consciously know your purpose, as long as you stay as present as possible, you keep working your energy, it works out. It falls into place over time. You don't have to consciously know it all ahead of time. So they said it's still fine to work your abundance, and it can be a part of your spirituality because you can look at abundance as a way of like giving and receiving and flow and non-resistance. So you can work it from a spiritually evolved perspective, like viewing from your sixth, not from your fourth. It can be a part of your learning and your growing to work your abundance but they just suggested to me like a guide would be, keep it about 1/3 at most of what your focus is. Like, for example, your meditation time. Don't make it all about abundance because you're missing that point. So I hope that makes sense. So the whole 1/3, 1/3 guide. So 1/3 max on abundance. But that said, it turned out that I could have been working abundance regularly, and that might have helped me in certain ways. I mean, because I was personally working my spiritual path and being as present as possible all the time, my abundance has worked out. But if I had consciously put some regular meditation time into it, it would have sped up my learning in certain ways. Partially because I'm a first chakra being, so first chakra is abundance and safety and courage and stuff. But anyway, so long story short, you don't have to ignore your abundance. You could work it on an energy level with the kind of like the techniques that we're going to be doing. But from what I've heard, it's wise to keep it to about 1/3 at most of what you're focusing on with your spiritual work. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be quiet. We're gonna have our quiet time now, and then we'll start the healing. So the quiet time usually is about 1.5 minutes-ish or 2 minutes tops. And what I do during that is a brief recentering of myself, and then I telepathically, non-verbally, say hello to each of the 100 people that I'm healing. It's 100 people that I'm healing in 9 different countries this time. Hi, everybody. The countries are the US, UK, Qatar, Bermuda, Canada, Spain, United Arab Emirates, Australia, and South Korea. So hello, hello, hello to everyone I'm healing. And including 8 kids within the 100 people, ages 1 to 17. So kids don't often watch, but if there is ever a kid that's watching this, you're very cool. And of course, hello to all the people that are not a part of the 100 that I'm healing and are just watching to heal themselves. You are very, very welcome. Thank you for watching as well. And later there will be a Q&A. We'll see how long this healing goes. But there'll be a separate Q&A live stream, and it will be themed on abundance. So that should be pretty interesting. People can ask one question, posted towards the start of the live stream, whenever that is, about abundance. But also, if you're a newbie, you could ask a question about like, how present am I? What can you suggest to me for my self-healing to work on? If you're a newbie and that's what you want to ask instead, that's fine. But other people, probably it'd be nice to have a lot of abundance questions so we can really think about the topic and can be a good abundance live stream. Okay, but now, quiet time and then the healing. So I've just started the healing and I'm going to heal without talking for a teeny bit, and then I'll start talking within a minute. Okay, thank you for waiting. So when you heal yourself, you can use a copy out in front of you. Just imagine it. You don't have to see. Even if you see all black, that's fine and pretty standard for until your clairvoyance opens up later. The more present you get, the more likely you are to see energy. But in the meantime, just get used to not seeing and healing anyway. So you create with your intention a copy out in front of you of your aura and your grounding, and your body is in your aura, and just use gold light coming out of your hand chakras. You have a hand chakra in the center of each hand, and also fingertip chakras near the tip of each finger in the front. And so just with your intention, open up those energy centers. They have round openings, and set them to a vibration of metallic gold, similar to this glitter. And that way the energy they're generating is that metallic gold color, which as a vibration is nice. It's fast moving, but not too fast moving. So it helps you release stuck energy, helps you heal. And so between the aura and the grounding, those are the two focuses at first. Is the grounding wide and flowing properly? Is the aura whole and fully repaired? But let's get the grounding first. So you just imagine your connection to the earth, and go ahead and create a new grounding for yourself. Make it as wide as your whole aura. That's why I'm sticking out my hands like this, because my aura is this big. And your aura is hopefully this big as well if your chakras are healthy and well and generating enough. But if you have rips, your aura can be kind of deflated, but whatever. Either way, just make a really big grounding as wide as your whole aura, red or orange or yellow. And you can quickly test red grounding for both your physical and astral grounding, and then orange grounding for both physical and astral grounding, and yellow grounding for both physical and astral grounding. I said a lot of terms there, so if it didn't make sense, don't worry. But you're testing to see which helps you to release more down to the core of the earth. Because this wide grounding, it's wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And that helps you to let go of things and not take things too personally, to clear fast, heal fast, be more robust. So you're testing red grounding, orange grounding, yellow grounding, and stick with the one, the color that helped you release the most right now. And then with your grounding at that color, imagine it out in front of you, a copy of it. And so like, you know, if you're here, right, then your grounding goes up to here, all the way around, and then it goes all the way down to the core of the earth. So we're just making a mini copy, so you can, here would be your third chakra, here's the core of the earth, and you're just making sure it flows all the way down. Chances are there are some blockages part of the way down, so you just surround the blocked energy with gold light and just relax as you do that so that it can melt. The blocks can melt that are in your grounding. And again, you just imagine, if you can't see energy, that's fine. Just say, okay, well, I think maybe there are some blocks right here, and just imagine it like a big pile of rocks, and just melt the big pile of the rocks with gold light. And again, just relax, because that's really half of it. If you relax, or at least try to relax by breathing deeply, that helps you to be more non-resistant. It helps you to let go of the energy that's blocking you up. So just keep finding more energy blocks in your grounding, and go ahead and melt them away. So, if you've ever experienced like, you know, maybe you have good flow of your grounding in one situation, you know, when you're doing something you're very comfortable with, but then in a different situation, maybe you don't have a good grounding, right? So that could be because you have energy blocks that get triggered in that situation, or your resistance gets triggered in that situation and your grounding gets all clogged. So go ahead now and think consciously about abundance, and just keep melting away the blocks that show up when you think about your abundance. Like maybe think about, you know, we'll make trouble on purpose. Think about think about if you have any debt. Okay, stay here. How blocked up did your grounding become when you think about how much debt you have? Like think of the actual dollar amount that you owe. Or if you don't know it, just think of the ballpark dollar amount if you owe any debt. And then just imagine, you know, the chunks of energy blocks in your grounding that just got triggered because of you thinking that. And just relax and melt away the chunks of blocked energy. And don't be disturbed if you just did get kind of blocked up, you know, by thinking of the exact dollar amount that you owe somebody. And if you don't owe anybody anything, then, you know, you could imagine you know, some financially related thing that you want to think about. But just find the energy blocks in your grounding. Just imagine them and melt them. And again, probably the easiest scenario is just imagining the actual dollar amount of certain debts that you have, or the ballpark dollar amount. And we're just using that as a trigger. Because if we can get you to clear your triggers about your finances, then you can have more clarity. You can see from your sixth, you can clear energy, you can develop nice plans of self-healing, and it's just better. All right. So that was grounding and blocking, specific to the theme of abundance. We thought about your debt, and then we unblocked extra after that. We didn't notice, I didn't mention the debt right up front. We got the grounding first. We tested even the $3. And then once that was pretty good, then we thought about how much we owe. That's on purpose, right? Because you want to have a little bit of strong footing first, and then you trigger yourself on purpose and see and clear that. Okay, cool. So let's do aura. I want to do aura repair, but I think we better do 2 things before then. So we're going to get to aura repair, but the 2 things before that would be crowd exercise and vacuum boxes. That's because it is helpful for most people, unless you're advanced. If you're advanced, doing aura repair even before those things is not a big deal. But if you're not advanced, you may be too sort of bogged down by invasive beings or people bugging you. And so your aura repair might not fully complete properly unless we get rid of all that first. So let's do that. So just crowd exercise is easy. And again, you don't really have to see in detail. That's not the point of it. So that's good. So first we'll do it for invasive beings. Now, you're a giant, mighty being, okay? You're a big time eternal soul, particularly compared to these little, you know, invasive spirits that could be messing with your energy. So there's no need to be afraid of them because you're very capable and you have angels that are obviously super capable. So, you know, you're okay, right? So you could just, the thing is, you know, just asking angels, help me forever so I never have to deal with invasive beings. Usually that doesn't really work. I mean, I think there are some young souls who could say that and that would work because they just don't have the ability to learn. But if you're an older soul, you have the ability to learn and evolve with that and clear your fear and sort of master, you know, a level of courage with all this. So I think that's why the angels don't just, you know, remove it as an issue at all, you know, permanently. But anyway, so crowd exercise, you imagine it as a crowd, a bunch of beings, invasive beings, little invasive beings that are messing with you from afar. So they could be trying to cord you or throw energy at you or send you consistent telepathy. That's sort of a nuisance. So just imagine a crowd of invasive beings that are trying to mess with you and just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? And you just wait while your angels do that. And that works even if you didn't know you have angels, because you do. So you just say, angels, you recycle all those things. All right, and then the other group is invasive beings that could be messing with you from up close. So for example, you know, an invasive being, maybe I have one in my ankle, you know, little one pesky little being, you know, creating a little bit of a clog in my ankle. Or, you know, wherever, my grounding, whatever. So just imagine as a crowd far away from you, any invasive beings that are messing with you from up close. And say, angels, can you recycle all those beings? And you just relax while that happens. And we're gonna do 2 more rounds of that just because I think the angels, they do it gradually when you request because it's a big shift for you. And so they want it to be nice and gentle. Okay, so then again, we'll just do that same thing, right? A crowd of beings that are messing with you from afar. Angels, please recycle them. And imagine a crowd of beings that are messing with you from up close. Angels, please recycle those. And then 1 more round. Imagine a crowd of beings that are messing with you from afar, if there are still any. Say, angels, please recycle those. And then any beings that are messing with you from up close. Angels, please recycle those. So that is the crowd exercise part where you're dealing with invasive beings. So then there's crowd exercise where you're dealing with invasive people. And anybody can be invasive, and I do try to encourage people to view this from your 6th chakra, and so you don't really demonize people. If you're viewing from your 6th, it's not good or bad, you know, just some people, you know, when they're imbalanced, they're going to be invasive. It's not the end of the world, but it's not something that you should have to be impaired by, right? So you just imagine, you know, a crowd of people that are being invasive with you at this moment, and just imagine that crowd, you know, at a comfortable distance away from you. So these are invasive people that are messing with you from afar, and then invasive people that are messing with you from up close. And you just, with these people, you're going to just have a conversation. You're just stay present, chill out, and you just suggest things that these people could do that would center them, and therefore they would go off away from you and leave you alone, basically. But you don't say, leave me alone, because that's just not going to work. It's not going to help them be balanced enough to actually leave you alone, right? So just say, hello, go talk to your angels. Go ask your angels about your issue. Your angels can help you. If you go take a deep breath, if you go check on your grounding, it's going to help you have a better day. Your angels can help you with all your problems. You can hand your problems to your angels. All right, good job. So if you still have anybody left being invasive with you, you can just say, angels, can you please help me with these people? Okay. All right, hold on one second. All right. Okay, so that was crowd exercise. So now let's do vacuum boxes. So vacuum boxes are pretty quick and easy. And so with vacuum boxes, you imagine, you create, you don't have to be able to see energy again, it still works, but you create 3D boxes that are like vacuums. And they vacuum up invasive beings and people's energy too that's in your space. And so we're just going to make a whole bunch of vacuum boxes in a bunch of different places and let the boxes do the work. And then we ask our angels to recycle the boxes. And the most key place, I mean, it's very helpful to do them all over, but the most key place we want to do them is around the edge of both your astral body aura and the edge of your physical body aura. We want to put lots of vacuum boxes because that is going to be part of what helps, you know, clean out the ripped surfaces if you do have any damaged surfaces of your aura, because then we're going to go on to do aura repair after this. Okay. But anyway, so let's make a bunch of vacuum boxes. I'm going to list a whole bunch of places where they go. If it seems like too much, you just say, angels, help me do this. Okay, so put vacuum boxes in both of your groundings, your physical body grounding and your astral body grounding. Put a whole bunch of vacuum boxes. And then around the outside of both of your groundings, your physical body grounding and your astral body grounding, make a whole bunch of vacuum boxes there. All around your physical body, front, sides, and back of your physical body, make a whole bunch of vacuum boxes. And then all around your astral body, which is you as a spirit. So make a whole bunch of vacuum boxes in the front, sides, and back of your astral body. Okay, and especially if you have a specific problem area, like, you know, a bad shoulder, or, you know, a problem with one of your knees or both your ankles, definitely go ahead and put extra vacuum boxes in those locations. And then, like we said, well, let's do above the head, right above your head, in both your physical body aura and your astral body aura, and below your feet in both your physical body aura and your astral body aura, make vacuum boxes. And then all around the edges of both of your auras, like I said, around the edge of your astral body aura and around the edge of your physical body aura. And then the last place, okay, above the top of your, way above the top of both auras, that's nice too. Okay, now the last place would be along your spiritual path. So your spiritual path is just for you. So they have their own path, right? So you just imagine a road that's just for you. See if you're on it, see if you're traveling and moving forward and progressing on your path. And just put vacuum boxes behind you, around you, above you, in front of you on your path, especially in front of you on your path, because that should help you move forward if you unblock your path, right? Okay, so now you have vacuum boxes in all those places, so you just turn them on with your remote control, and you just relax as your vacuum boxes do the work. It'll probably only take like less than 30 seconds. Okay, so now your vacuum boxes are full. So just say, angels, can you please recycle my vacuum boxes? I'm smiling because I was checking somebody who's like a super newbie who's never gotten a healing before, and his friend paid for him to get the healing, and I was checking to see that they worked for him, and he's like, yeah, they really did. Okay, cool. So those were vacuum boxes. So now I always think this is fun. The comb through your space after you just did the vacuum boxes, and just see how that is for you. Comb through your grounding after you've used vacuum boxes. Comb through your aura after you've used vacuum boxes. And see if you can notice a difference. If you can't notice a difference, just it could be that you're just not yet present enough to notice it. But most likely there was a big difference, because I could feel a huge difference afterwards. Okay, so that's vacuum boxes. So let's do aura repair. Yeah. All right. So with aura repair, you just imagine, we'll do both your regular auras. So you just imagine a composite, right? It looks like one aura, but it's really both your astral body aura and your physical body aura. And we're just looking for any rips that we see. Sometimes they're on the top, sometimes they're in the upper back. Really, they could be anywhere though. And you just imagine if you have any rips, and you just clean them out with lots of gold light. And you want the gold light to go as deep as possible into the rip, because it's that ripped surface of the aura that needs to make contact with the gold light. So if you have like a long thin gash into your aura, you have to get the gold light into that part, into the whole gash. So I like to imagine like gold fire that kind of clings to the ripped part of the aura to give it a good clean out. And then get the scars too, because sometimes after you've healed up the rips, there's just like a hard part just on the outside where the rip was. So just shoot extra gold light in the 7th layer for any scarring to melt that away. And bruising you can have in really anywhere, but it's a residue of, you know, having a lot of energy thrown at you. You can have like part of a bunch of layers blackened. So like if I look at somebody, it's like upper left, you know, layer 7654. It's like sort of 20% black, each of those layers right here, because at one point they were whacked and they repaired it, but there's just a little residue of bruising that they didn't fully get rid of. So just kind of use your intuition and your vision and whatever you got, and just send gold light through all the aura layers, and let the gold light find any bruising that you have and just heal that, clear the bruising. Because the scarring and, well, of course the rips weaken your aura a lot and you lose a lot of energy through that, but even scarring and bruising weakens your energy because it's like stuck panels of junk in your aura, and so it'll make your aura damage more quickly next time. So we don't want that. And also it helps you to be much more present if you get rid of this bruising, because then you have more flow. So again, we're just going through all the aura layers with lots of gold light to get rid of aura bruising, which would be a remnant of, and as you work around your aura, you can rotate your copy that you're working. So at one point you're doing the front, at one point you're doing the back, you do each side. And rotating is good because sometimes you might be used to viewing yourself a certain way and you don't realize that you're ignoring the left side or you're ignoring the right side all the time. So try to rotate your copy. All right, so that was, we did aura repair, and then we did, we got rid of aura scarring and bruising. And now let's, we'll just quickly redo your gold buffers. And that just takes a second. There's a whole video that explains what they are and why redoing them just takes a second, you know, and gets you to that point where it's easy. Called Gold Energy Aura Buffer Zones. So if you search Janet Wright, Gold Buffer Zones, that'll pull it up. It's an 18-minute video. I'm outside. My hair is shorter with bright colors in it. So that's Gold Buffer Zones. The function of them is to slow the rate of aura damage. Because they're big gold buffers that you make. They're flowing gold healing energy, like 6 feet of them, you know, on the edge of your aura that you create and you recreate. If you don't recreate them, then there's no point because they get beat up and then they don't work. So you recreate them regularly once they get beat up. Okay, so I did want to backtrack just a moment to do indie grounding. Normally I would do that when we're talking about grounding, but I forgot. So indie grounding is where you're grounding, not only you want it just definitely to be wide, definitely to be flowing all the way down to the core of the earth, but you want to make sure your grounding isn't linked to other people's grounding. You want it to just go straight down with no little, you know, connections to someone else's grounding, because it's not like a positive thing. It kind of brings you both down. If you tend to feel other people's stress way more if your grounding connects to other people's grounding. I call the connecting grounding communal grounding, and it is something that people will do subconsciously, accidentally. So even someone who meditates regularly might create that with somebody, or they might just tolerate it when someone hooks into theirs. So that's not a positive thing. So just check. Even if you think, oh, that couldn't happen to me, it could. Go ahead and just check. And just use lots of gold light. Imagine you're grounding and just, you know, gold water, gold fire, whatever you want, just to melt away any connections to other people in your grounding. And you can also do kind of like a modified crowd exercise thing where you tell, if you can tell that there's some people trying to hook on, you say, hey, go check your own grounding. It's going to help you have a good day. You be your own tree, I'll be my own tree, we'll both be stronger. You know, you have to have your own tree roots, I'll have my tree roots. That's how it goes. Go check your own grounding. Go have your angels help you with grounding. And if you sense any beings, invasive beings that are still around, just say, angels, please recycle them. Like, point them out to your angels. Angels, please recycle these. And they usually feel, they'll be like sort of cloudy, mushy things. But you don't have to worry about them. Just say, angels, please recycle these. And that's it. All right. So that's indie grounding. Really helpful, especially, you know, during global pandemics, things like that. Anytime when a lot of people are freaking out about something, of national elections, stuff like that. But really, anytime, indie grounding is very good. Okay, cool. Let me see what people need. We're going to do chakra repair and unblocking. Oh, that's Izzy, one of my 3 beagles. Making trouble. Izzy, be good. Life with 3 beagles is challenging sometimes. Okay, we're gonna repair chakras and unblock energy channels. Repair and unblock chakras. Okay, all your major and minor chakras. So this helps you accomplish things, but also even helps your immune system, because the minor chakras, most of those are like acupuncture points of your physical body. So very helpful stuff. Okay. So it's composite copy technique. You make a big gold, and we're going to use a big gold tub of water. So you just imagine a nice wide big gold tub of water, and fill it up with universal healing energy, gold healing energy. You can splash around in it for fun if you want. And just make a composite copy that looks like an open cylinder. So like this is a cylinder, and if it were, you know, round opening here and round opening here, that's an open cylinder. So a composite copy means it's one thing that you created, but it represents other things, right? It represents many things. So this composite copy represents all your major and minor chakras of your body and spirit. Okay, this one composite copy that you're making that looks like an open cylinder. And so you just repair any rips or gashes or, you know, missing pieces that are, you know, any damage. You're going to repair chakra damage just by using your hands and the gold light. You can dunk it in the gold water, swoosh it around in the gold water. And we're also unblocking as we do that. So you imagine clogs in there that you're unblocking with the gold light. And the damage, chakra damage, I mean, the whole thing will, like, say maybe like the top quarter could be shattered, or just, you know, there could be like a big chunk missing, like right there. Or there could be gashes that don't belong, or like scratches that don't belong. So just use lots of gold light and relax and let the gold light do the work. Sometimes you can have junk around the broken edges, so you just take out the junk, give it to your angels. Just go, whoosh, angels, here you go. Whoosh, angels, here you go. And then just, so now you have better access to the damaged parts of your chakra. And it'll repair better. So again, let's just get the junk off. Whoosh, angels, here you go. Whoosh, angels, here you go. And then use a lot of gold light to repair. So you're repairing all your major and minor chakras with this composite copy. And we want to unblock it to the extent that it's healthy and gentle to do right now. So like, for example, your physical body, all those little energy, the little chakras that are acupuncture points, those minor chakras, there's a limit to how much change your physical body is gonna like at one time, right? So you just have the intention that you're imagining the blocks that are good to clear right now. They're healthy and gentle to clear so that you can melt whatever blocks you imagine, right? So you have your composite copy, just imagine some mud in there, some stuck energy, and just use lots of gold light to melt those blocks. Whatever blocks are healthy and gentle to melt right now. And you can say, angels, can you recycle any beings or being tunnels that are in these chakras? So that's beings or being tunnels. Tunnels are just little passageways for beings, and so the angels can get rid of those too. So angels, can you recycle any beings or being tunnels that are in my chakras? All right. And now that we already did the unblocking and the repair, now less extra will make a little trouble, right? And we'll mention abundance, right? So let's mention, I mean, you can think of abundance, but to trigger what you need to clear, you kind of, you mentioned, like, think of your debt maybe, what kind of debt do you owe to somebody, if you owe any debt, or do you have sort of a financial challenge that you have? And just imagine if you can, that you can see now the healthy and gentle blocks around your chakras that you can clear that relate to whatever you were just thinking about. As you think about how much money you owe, just imagine the blocks now that you're aware of, and just go ahead and melt those away. Also, if you just have worries and concerns financially, you can imagine those and just imagine the energy blocks that go with those worries and concerns and just melt them away. Okay, good. So just leave that composite copy in the gold light, and then make another composite copy of your energy channels, all your energy channels of your body and spirit. So you have big energy channels like down your arm, up and down your spine, up your legs. Those are big energy channels, but you have others that are not as big but super important still. The meridians of traditional Chinese medicine that carry energy, all around your physical body. Those are very important too. Those are energy channels. So you just imagine a composite energy channel. This looks like a red tube of all the energy channels that you have, and just go ahead and unblock that. Heal it and unblock it. So by doing this, you are repairing and unblocking, to the extent that's healthy and gentle, all your energy channels of your body and spirit. Energy channels, when they get damaged, they kind of get split open. They can have little puncture holes in them, but they can also just get completely split open. So just heal this composite copy of your energy channels. Surround it in gold light. You dip it in the gold light of the tub of gold water. And you want to repair any damage. And then just imagine any energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear right now. And you can imagine them just like clogs in the tube, or junk around the outside of the tube too, and just melt all that away. So you imagine what's healthy and gentle to clear, and then you melt it away. And then there's a protective force field around all the energy channels. So just, you can imagine that and heal that up too, repair it. All right. And then you can say too, angels, can you recycle any beings or being tunnels that are in or around my energy channels? And if you have any abundance related blockages in or around your energy channels, go ahead and imagine those. And if you can't imagine them, then think about your debt and imagine, think about something you owe or some financial issue that you have, and just imagine the blocks that go with that around your energy channels and just melt those blocks away. Or if melting them isn't fun enough for you, you can move the blocks above or below your copy and just blow up. If it's you that you're healing, just blow up the blocks. If you're healing someone else, I would say that's too bossy, so just use gold light to melt them. But you can move the blocks over and then just use gold light to melt them, even if you're healing somebody else. So let's do that for the chakras. Just move up any abundance related blocks from all your chakras. Just move up the blocks away from the composite copy. And if you're doing it on yourself, you can just blow up the blocks. If it's not you, just melt them with gold light. And with energy channels also, abundance related blocks, move them up and blow them up or melt them with gold light. So do that again from your chakras and your energy channels. Move up the blocks and blow them up or melt them with gold light. Abundance related blocks from your chakras or your energy channels, move them up and blow them up or melt them with gold light. Right. So that was fun. So that was chakra repair, chakra unblocking, energy channel repair and unblocking, just in general, but also with about abundance. I'm just taking notes because later there will be a healing summary in the comment section that you can go to that will have specific timestamps. So you could go to a certain part of the healing just by clicking the timestamp link. That'll be within a day. We'll see when I do those. I'll do them as soon as I am able. As soon as it is healthy and gentle for me to do. All right, let me see where people are at. So Ariel's pointing out to me that there are ways of clearing energy that are poetic, and there are ways that are sort of non-poetic. So what we just did with the energy channel composite copy and the chakra composite copy, oh, you can just blow that up because you're done with it. But that is very effective and like wham bam fast, and you did a lot of clearing in a short amount of time, but it's not very poetic. And sometimes poetic stuff is really cool too, and very moving and impactful as well. So for contrast, we'll do a more poetic thing, Joe feels suggesting. So So first we'll catch up on nourishing, because nourishing, the way we tend to do it is very poetic, and we've done so much clearing, we haven't done nourishing yet. So nourishing with flower healing, and I have a whole playlist of flower healing videos if you like flower healing for different things. But anyway, so with flower healing, you make energy healing flowers made of universal healing energy, so they could be rainbow, different colors in the rainbow, or gold, or both. You don't have to worry really. You just make them really quickly with your intention. But make energy healing flowers, just whatever flowers right now your physical body needs. Okay, just make a whole bunch of energy healing flowers for your physical body, and then say, angels, can you double check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. Give them to your body. Let's do that again. So make a whole bunch of energy healing flowers for your physical body. What does your physical body need right now? A whole bunch of them. You can even multiply them by 100. And then say, angels, can you double check these flowers? And then give those to your physical body. Okay, and then you, because you're not your physical body, so what do you need right now, just in general? What energy healing flowers do you need? And just go ahead, make them, and times them by 100 at least, so you have a whole bunch. And just say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to yourself however you want. You can throw them up in the air around you. You can just give them to yourself. They'll go wherever they're needed. One more time. Energy healing flowers for yourself, whatever you need. Go ahead, make them. Make 100 times that at least. And say, angels, can you double check my flowers? And there you go. And you can specifically make energy healing flowers for abundance. There could be a specific healing vibration that would be extra helpful for you right now for your abundance. So go ahead, make energy healing flowers for your abundance, and then multiply them by 1,000,000 if you want, or 1,000,000,000. And then say, angels, can you double check my flowers? And give them to yourself. One more time. Energy healing flowers for your abundance, the unique vibrations that you need for your abundance. Go ahead, make them, and then times them by 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000, whatever you want. And say, angels, can you double check these flowers? That way they'll change them slightly if needed. And then go ahead and give those flowers to yourself. Okay. So we did flower healing for your body, for you as a spirit, and then specifically for your abundance. All right. And let's do sort of a poetic clearing technique or two. Jophiel's still suggesting these. So thank you, Jophiel. Archangel Jophiel. She's got to point out something to me in my notes first. Okay, so people can get into a conflict between, in the intro I was talking about how if you work on being as present as possible and being on your spiritual path and moving forward on your spiritual path, even just through intention, and then just working on your chakras and your aura and being as present as possible, as much as you can, that tends to work for abundance. But you could explicitly work abundance as well. And the angels had said to me, well, work abundance up to like 1/3 of what you're doing consciously, which is totally new for me because I just sort of ignore abundance most of the time. And I just work all my chakras, including my first chakra. So therefore it sort of takes care of abundance. But they were saying, well, why don't you explicitly work it more? Because you'll learn a lot from that as well. But just only do it up to 1/3 of what you're consciously working on with your meditations, your energy healing. So that said, a lot of people sort of have this duality where, well, I have to make money, and so therefore my spirituality, my purpose in life, it doesn't so much matter. It's like, well, I gotta eat, I gotta survive, which is true. You do have to survive, and maybe if you're a parent to human children or to dogs that need vet care, that's a financial reality, right? So there is a way to take care of both. But it can seem like one and the other are not, you can't have both. It can seem like that, like some people even get into that with meditation because they think that meditation, energy healing, oh, it's just so special and precious. I should wait until, I'm undisturbed and I feel good and then I'll meditate, and of course that day never shows up because their day is busy and full of responsibilities. And, so the idea is to marry the both, like half listen to something while you're doing something else, repair your aura while you brush your teeth, while you're dealing with your kids, you know, like mush it together so that it's not an either or thing. So imagine if you have anything that makes you feel like your abundance and your spirituality, or your being true to your path, your purpose in this life, are mutually exclusive. Like you can't do both, right? Imagine, because it's not actually true, you know, and if you hold on to this energy that says you can't do both, then you won't be able to do both. You know, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So in this poetic way of clearing, we'll have it be just imagine out in front of you. It could be at a comfortable distance, or it could be right in front of you, whatever you prefer. But imagine an object that's a visual representation of whatever you have within you that makes you feel, even just subconsciously, even just a little bit, makes you feel like your spiritual path, you know, your true purpose in life and abundance are like opposed, and you can't have both. So just imagine whatever it is, and just imagine it like an object. So this is a poetic way of clearing. You just imagine it. It could be, the object doesn't have to be poetic looking. It can just be a pile of rocks or something. Or it could be, you know, a blackened coffin or a blackened treasure chest, or, you know, whatever. Just imagine an object that represents whatever's within you that makes it seem like your spiritual path and your spiritual wellness and abundance are just, they can't mix for you. And then go ahead and wrap this object in a lot of gold light and just hand it to your angels and say, angels, can you help me with this? And go ahead, check your grounding. You know, test red or orange or yellow grounding. See which works better for you right now. And go to that color of grounding, red or orange or yellow. And we'll do that again. Okay, so this is a sort of poetic form of clearing where you're going to imagine an object. If there's anything still within you, even subconsciously, that says you can't have, you know, your inner peace and your fulfillment and, you know, pay your bills and, you know, deal with your financial responsibilities. Anything that says that you personally won't be able to do both. And just imagine that like an object or a series of objects. And you could just take a second and get a sense of, you know, is this from somebody or is it your own thinking? Maybe it's from somebody in a past life. And just get a sense of how long have you had this in your space affecting you. You know, maybe since you were a kid, maybe since a past life, maybe just since a certain relationship you had. And then go ahead, and all that intuition was just optional. So if you didn't get anything, it's okay. Clearing it is really the point. The other stuff is just kind of fun. Okay, so wrap it up in gold light, whatever object or objects you're imagining that make it seem like you can't have both. You can't have your abundance and you can't have your spiritual wellness. Okay, just so wrap this object or objects up in gold light, and you can even reduce them in size if that's fun for you, and then hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And you may have inner wounds. That are doing the same thing. So you may have inner wounds that make it seem, and they could be from past lives even, that make it seem like you can't have both. Your abundance and your spiritual wellness and being true to your purpose and being really authentic. So just imagine them like slashes out in front of you or like holes in the ground. Any inner wounds you have that are healthy and gentle to heal right now. that that are artificially separating your abundance and your spiritual wellness, because you can manifest both. So go ahead and imagine the inner wounds like slashes, and go ahead and use gold light very gently and easily. Just sort of put gold light in the slashes so that they can heal up. And just keep breathing deeply, wiggle your toes, stay here. And again, double check your grounding. Meaning you can imagine it out in front of you too and unblock it. So you're imagining any blocks in your grounding, and you're melting them with gold light. All right. And again, just imagine any inner wounds that may be making it feel impossible for you, that you could have abundance and you could have your spiritual wellness as well in this life. You could. So just imagine any inner wounds that make that seem impossible, and then just use gold light and melt away the wounds. And if any of it's hard, just say, angels, help me do this. Right. And then we'll do flower healing on that same theme. So create energy healing flowers for yourself out of universal healing energy, so rainbow colors or gold light. Make the healing flowers to help you nurture your sense that you can have both. You can have your spiritual wellness and you can have your abundance. So this is the healing vibrations that you need so that you can have both, and that you can feel it like, okay, yeah, I could, not just other people, but me. Okay, so what healing energy do you need to feel like you personally could really have abundance and be on your spiritual path as well? So just make your healing flowers, make 100 times more than that at least, and say, angels, can you double check my flowers? And then go ahead and give those to yourself. One more time. Energy healing flowers for you, so that you're nurturing yourself and your sense that you can have abundance and spiritual wellness. So go ahead, make energy healing flowers, make 100 times more, and say, angels, can you heal my flowers? Check my flowers, and then give it to yourself. Okay. So Archangel Ariel is pointing out something to me. You can I mean, most people that I'm talking to right now are adults, right? I mean, if there was a kid listening, it'd be different. But if you're an adult, there's still a thing where you could be stuck in a child space. In other words, you could be stuck in the sense of like, well, you know, in this context, it would be if your abundance is stuck in a child space, then just subconsciously maybe or consciously, you feel like someone else is managing your abundance, not you. Okay, and even if you're in a couple where, you know, you don't work for money, you work to maintain the household or the children or the pets or whatever you're doing, and the other person brings in the cash into the household, you still have an energy of abundance. You can still save you could find some dental procedure that's like a tenth of what you were going to have to pay, or you can, abundance can still work. You can have this energy where, your washer doesn't break down because you manage your energy so well, and the energy of the house, so there are abundance ways other than who brings in the dollars into the household, right? So you can manage your own energy of abundance, right? You can manage and maintain your own energy of abundance. But sometimes people get caught in a situation where they're not, like on a spirit level, they've given that management to somebody else. And oftentimes, sometimes it's because they're sort of a domineering person, who does not mean well. Sometimes it's someone who does mean well, like, oh, I'm saving you, I'm rescuing you, whatever. So basically what we're going to do is just imagine, say, your abundance garden. Let's imagine your abundance garden. And are you managing this garden, or is someone else managing this garden? And even if someone's managing just a little part of it, go ahead and imagine if someone else is managing your abundance garden, part or all of it. Just go ahead and be aware of that. Like, oh, there's this little part here that I'm not managing. And just take your time, relax about it. It's not the end of the world. You can fix it. But just imagine, like, gee, who's managing this part of my abundance garden? And go ahead and just wash it out. Like wash out that part of the garden so that that person's no longer managing it. You could say to that person, thank you, if you feel like they had kind intentions. Just say, thanks, but I got this. Thanks, but I got this. Go talk to your angels. It's okay. And then maybe there's another part of your abundance garden that someone's managing. And maybe they have positive intentions and they think they're helping. Maybe they don't have positive intentions. So just be aware of another part of your abundance garden that someone else is managing. And again, just run gold light through that part of the garden and re-own it, and just say to the person, it's okay, I got this. I need to manage this. It's my garden. Thank you so much. Go talk to your angels. You have your own garden. I have my garden. Okay? And so just now, just gold throughout your abundance garden. And just wash everybody else out. So you're in an adult space, so that yes, your angels are helping you, but other than that, you're in charge of this garden. This is your garden. Okay? So lots of gold light, and just unite the whole garden. It's your garden. The whole thing. You're an adult. And just go ahead and you manage this with your angels' help. You can say, angels, help me manage my garden. Angels, help me manage my abundance. And again, wash out these other people from your garden, your abundance garden. Just say, thanks, I got this. You have your own garden. Go talk to your angels. And some people may be concerned, like, oh, well, my ex-husband pays me a certain amount each month, so should I not wash him out of my garden? Or, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like that. It's like you can receive, a check from someone monthly or whatever, assistance. But like I said, your abundance energy is yours. So this is different. You can still receive financial assistance from somebody, in the form of checks or something, but you can receive it cleanly so that they're not the adult and you're the child, right? So they don't belong in your abundance garden. Your abundance energy is you, just for you. And if you're at all afraid, like, oh, but I don't want anything to happen to that agreement, just say, angels, help me with that situation. And then just go ahead and own your garden. right. So that was working your abundance garden and just checking to see that you're in a full adult space with that and that you don't have any other people managing your garden for you. So we basically cleared out anybody else that was managing even a part of your garden. Alrighty, so we check where everybody's at. So expectations, I mentioned in the intro, I mentioned probably a lot of things in the intro, but one of them was your expectations of abundance. And that can get in the way and make things, make you less clear and non-judgmental and get you stuck in some dramas, subconsciously or consciously. So let's clear out any expectations, because expectations are different than goals. You can have goals like, oh, I want to pay off this loan as soon as possible. That's a goal, right? An expectation is someone should pay it off for me, or I should have paid it off already, or expectations are like should, you know, and I must, and it's very rigid, and so it tends to get you stuck, and therefore less powerful and less capable and less peaceful and present. So that's a problem. So you can go ahead and imagine, we could do a poetic version of it, and just imagine out in front of you expectations in your financial space, and you can imagine them as objects. So you're just kind of looking like, oh, what do they look like? What do I imagine these expectations in my financial space? Because it could be other people's expectations in your space. Like, I'll use a silly personal example. My genetic mother, she's very, abundance was an interesting thing with her, and she felt like her kids should be really well off. They should be like corporate moguls, you know. So she felt like we should marry rich people and we should be rich people, like we should be corporate, you know, elites. And so she had a lot of expectations that she brought her kids up with. She continually placed them in her space. Like, you should marry rich, you should be rich, you should be very corporate successful, high up on the corporate ladder, yada, yada. So that could be, you could have some expectations like that, even if you had a mom like that in a past life. Or you can have expectations from, you know, a sibling, like, oh, you should earn less than me because I was better in school than you were, you know, or you know, like whatever weird thing. So, or they could be your own accidental or on purpose rigid expectations. So just imagine out in front of you, what do the expectations in your abundance space look like? And then, you know, you can get a sense if you want, you know, what do they look like? Who are they from? And, you know, how long have they been there? Have they been there just a week or years and years and years or several lifetimes? Go ahead and get a sense of some expectations that have been there since a past life. What do those look like? And go ahead and get rid of all this. You can melt them all with gold light. You can reduce them all into one little package and blow them up. You can burn them all with gold fire. You can wrap them all up in a gold package and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So lots of fun options for clearing expectations out about abundance that you have in your space. So let's do that again. Any expectations you still have in your space about abundance, And you can notice one or two of them. Is it from past life or present life? Are they yours? Are they from somebody else? Oh. And then just go ahead and, you know, set them on fire with gold light, make them into a tiny package and blow them up like fireworks, or, you know, just melt them with gold light or gold water, gold fire. Or wrap them up in a gold package, give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And if they're not clearing, if you have any problems clearing these expectations out of your abundance space, just say, angels, can you help me clean all this up? And so what's the opposite of being sort of ruled by these rigid expectations about abundance? Well, one way you could look at it is the opposite of that is listening to your own inner wisdom about abundance and your angels' inner wisdom about abundance, right? Your higher self, the part of you that's learned through trial and error in many lives, and, you know, your angels, who obviously they know, they know what's best for you. So just let's nourish with flower healing so that we can listen to our higher selves and our angels about abundance, right? So give yourself special energy healing flowers that'll help you to listen to your inner wisdom and your angels about abundance. Okay, and you can make as many of those flowers as you need and say, angels, can you double check these flowers? And go ahead and give these to yourself. Okay, one more time. Energy healing flowers to help you listen to your angels and your inner wisdom about abundance. And make 1,000, 1,000,000 times more. Say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. All right, and we can wrap up by just asking the angels for a blessing and healing. Angels, can you please give me a blessing and healing, and can you bless my abundance? And because angels and archangels, they know how to work and play together well. If you want, you can also ask Archangel Ariel and Archangel Jophiel for help too. So you can say, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Jophiel, can you please heal my abundance? All right, so that healing might continue for a little bit, but that's okay. You don't have to think about it. Just, you know, keep breathing. Your angels will finish when they finish. So, all right, we're done with the healing. Woohoo! Yay, we're done. So thank you for your patience with the technical difficulties that we had up front. And if you have any quick comments about how this healing was for you, that would be excellent. And then after I look at those briefly, I'm going to sign off of this live stream, take a quick break with my dogs and myself, and then I'm going to start the Q&A live stream, which will be about abundance, which I'm really excited about. You can post one question per person at the start of it, and then make it a question about abundance. Unless you're like, you've never heard of my work before and you'd rather say, you know, do you have a healing suggestion for me? Like, can you suggest a healing video for me or something like that? But if you know my work already, let's keep it about abundance. I think that would be very constructive to have a big Q&A just about abundance. And if I need to read your energy as part of the question and it's not obvious what your name is from your YouTube ID, just put at least your first name and your last initial in the question for the Q&A. Okay, so I'm looking at people's comments, and let's see, most of it at the start is just about the sound and everything. Thanks again for your patience, guys. Someone says, have you ever had high personal energy interfere with Wi-Fi, etc.? I don't know what you mean by high personal energy, but energy, I mean, it's all energy related. I mean, like, for example, you can have a resistance creation. So the more you resist something happening, that could help it to occur more often. You know, like, for example, I paid so much for the webcam that, you know, it's probably just the little cheapo adapter cable that I have to use for the webcam that has been giving me technical problems, like, now for months. But I'm so stuck at how much I paid for the webcam, I haven't just reordered the little adapter cable. You know, so that's my resistance about, you know, that you pay this much money, it should work, you know. So in a way, that's, you know, my resistance creation. So yeah, it's all energy. Anyway, so people are saying hi. Hi. Gold washing machine. Speaking of which, doing some work while half listening to the stream. Yes, yeah, you can definitely half listen while you're dealing with your kids or your work or whatever. Lifetimes, there are lots of them, yes. Someone says, I feel great. I was a participant and I loved the abundance garden part. I consciously had no idea how much my dad was in there. Thanks, Janet. Yeah, there were a lot of parents. So yeah, that's part of why we had to do that. Good, that's cool. I'm glad the poetic clearing was effective and interesting. Effective and educational. So it says, the abundance garden was a huge shift for me. I totally get the being in a child's space. I was definitely feeling like that. Interesting. Well, thank you, and good for you. This was great. I felt my left ear popping when we did the expectations bit. Interesting. Someone says, thanks, Janet. That was good. Oh, good. Someone says, I can do some Reiki on your microphone. No, thank you. No. Thank you very much. Someone says, healing was great. Any specific area where I might need to focus based on how I look post-healing? It's a little bit too much for me right now. I just want to go to the Q&A. Someone says, my late husband's sister was outside the fence of my abundance garden yelling at me and throwing stuff. She didn't want to leave. Yeah, it's funny. You know, people do get triggered. It's such a triggering thing. So yeah, but you could have like a safe zone around your garden, you know, where you know, put like a big gold buffer around the garden with like soundproof walls or something. Just have your angels check the soundproofing so energy can flow properly. Someone says, can't wait to manifest my castle. All right, cool. So thank you very much, and I will see some of you or many of you shortly in the Q&A on abundance. Oh, someone says, my abundance garden expanded into a massive field in Saskatchewan. Ha ha ha. Well, good. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I too have been struggling with the balancing the abundance and spirituality. Great point to help us grow. Well, good. I'm glad that helped. Okay, great. So I will see you soon in the Q&A on abundance, like 10 minutes from now. I can't believe like we're almost on time. It's because the angels help that healing to be very efficient. Thank